Friedrich Gustav Heinrich Stadelmann was a German psychiatrist and writer. He was born in 1865 in Memmingen, the son of philologist and poet Heinrich Stadelmann. He studied medicine in Würzburg, where he opened his first private practice. In 1906 he opened a private psychotherapeutic clinic in Dresden, the so-called Vogelhaus. He practiced hypnotherapy, had his home destroyed during the bombing of Dresden in 1945 and died in Dresden in 1948. The image portrait of Dr. Heinrich Stadelmann was drawn by the avant-garde painter Otto Dix, who was persecuted as a degenerate artist under Nazi Germany. We will cover his 1925 Die Magie des Dr. Morinon, or The Magic of Dr. Morinon. Nicodemus Villard and his Australian fiancée Lena Glan are taking a nightly stroll with the eccentric Dr. Morinon, who has just constructed a machine to enable him to read human thoughts. Then Nicodemus goes to visit his friend and love rival, Caesar Books, helps him to pack for a trip and shoots him to death because he said Lena promised to be his wife instead. Then Lena herself gets arrested for murder because of a really convoluted word association game a detective says is proof positive she is guilty. The court agrees and tries to force her to confess, as she sits in her cell and waits for Dr. Morinon to do something, sitting and doing nothing for dozens and dozens of pages, while Dr. Morinon observes her through his magically scientific instruments. Then during her trial, the audience at court goes mad, smashes the entire courtroom to rescue her, and devolves into a massive hedonistic orgy, before Lena is sentenced to death because she said a word randomly. But Dr. Morinon finally does something and teleports Lena off of the scaffold into the secret house inside his house, which he then drives into the sky. The fact most of the novel was about Lena sitting in jail waiting for the doctor to do anything is kind of a drag, but the ending is good enough. Friedrich Jacobsen was a German writer and jurist. He was born in 1856 in Emmelsburg, the son of a pastor. He went to gymnasium in Flensburg, studied law in Marburg, and served as a judge in Weimar, Schwarzburg, Sondershausen, and Erfurt. He committed suicide on January 1st, 1919 in Flensburg. We will cover his 1905 Die letzten Menschen, i.e. The Last People. In the distant future, all human knowledge was accumulated and no further progress is possible. The people, deprived of belief and not able to progress further in understanding, still venerate the dead, however. And during the yearly Festival of the Dead, an eccentric man living in an observatory tells them the world will be destroyed by a flood that same day. They mock him, but suddenly the earth shakes and is swallowed up by the ocean. His adoptive children, Eva and Balder, flee in an airplane, arriving at the only mountaintop still above the waters, the Garden of Eden. Here they meet Ahasver, who tells them about the coming end of all things, and takes them to meet Cain, cowering in the bowels of the earth beneath Eden, then leads them to a mountaintop, his curse of eternal life keeping them safe for an hour before they all drown. Finally, I have no idea who Paul Pierre was. The name suggests he is French, but the book he wrote in question, the 1923 Samsara, does not mention a translator, and I can't find any information about it coming out in French. So unless an original version has a different name I can find, it does not seem to exist. Briefly, a doctor named Walter Waag has a dream of going to see himself lying on the operating table, accompanied by the enigmatic Sister Gertrude. He wakes up, realizes he is bored of his fiancée and of her father, and experiments with his hypnotic powers for about 5 minutes, pores over occult books before getting bored of it immediately, and getting mugged and stabbed in the park. The remaining 50+ pages are Waag going on about getting on the right path, God, vague blathering about reincarnation with Sister Gertrude, who was apparently his mother in a past life, and no, this plot hook doesn't go anywhere either. Then he goes and buys a house for himself and a roof in the country, shown to him by a mysterious old man who knows about his past life and is a Rosicrucian, and the book ends. It stopped being about anything by page 30 and never recovered.